Thank you for watching RooTV.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode on RooTV. I'm Marissa Leggio.
And I'm Grace Kertz. On December 24th, 2 water pipes froze and broke at Oak Street Residence Hall. On the 25th, a fire suppression sprinkler pipe broke at Johnson Hall. But were any preventive measures taken? Keep watching to find out.
Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is not the only MVP in his family. Mahomes' mother, Randy, just recently had her birthday on January 18th. Along with celebrating her big day every year, she hosts a fundraiser benefiting Variety KC. Variety KC is a Kansas City-based nonprofit for kids with disabilities. Since 1934, they have helped children in the Kansas City area by providing mobility and communication devices, as well as opportunities for inclusion within our community. Past fundraisers have helped pay for playgrounds like the one at Tiffany Park that all the children can enjoy together. Donations in her name have also been used to buy musical equipment, adaptive bikes, and wheelchairs.
A staple food item has risen in price nearly 60% over a year's time. What is this product? Eggs. While eggs are facing the same consumer demand as previous years, a bird flu has shrunk supply drastically. Analyst Mauro Ibibaro of the Egg Industry Center claimed, "We lost 44 million laying hens this year because of avian influenza. Depending on how long egg producers take to recover their flocks, prices may scale down soon. In the meantime, many people are suffering from the rise in prices, especially bakeries who use large quantities of eggs. Hopefully, this flu doesn't happen again."
3 teenagers were arrested last week after they forced their way onto an independent school bus, punched the driver, and assaulted 2 students who were riding the bus that day. Investigators are starting to believe that this was a targeted attack because the suspects and victim knew each other. As of right now, there is no indication of a weapon being present during the attack, but detectives are looking through surveillance videos from a camera on the school bus to determine if a weapon was actually involved or not.
Now let's hear from sports and lifestyle and culture.
Welcome back into the den. I'm Jackson Ogden, and as you might be able to tell, I am in a great mood, and I'm sure you can guess why. The Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in the last 5 years. The Bengals and Chiefs clashed off in the AFC title game for the 2nd straight season, and throughout the week, the Bengals players, fans, and even mayors were talking a ton of trash leading up to this one. And even at the stadium yesterday, the fans who traveled were reaching Patriots levels of cockiness. When the game kicked off, the Chiefs dominated the first quarter, but both of their drives stalled and they had to settle for 2 field goals to give them a 6-0 lead. After a Bengals field goal, the Chiefs yet again drove down the field, and on 4th and 1, Patrick Mahomes improvised and found his BFF, Travis Kelce, in the back of the end zone to give the Chiefs a 13-3 lead. The Bengals would do what they always do and fight back to tie things up at 13 apiece, but then the MVP went back to work and hit Marquez Valdes-Scantling on a dart to give the Chiefs the lead again. The Bengals would answer yet again with the game knotted up at 20 in the final seconds. Patrick Mahomes scampered to the sideline and got hit late to set up Harrison Butker for a game-winning 45-yard field goal to send the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. As Travis Kelce said after the game, "Burrowhead my ass." The Chiefs got over the hump and head to the Super Bowl 57 to take on the Eagles on February 12th. Not only will the Chiefs be in the Super Bowl, but the best female artist in the world, Rihanna, will be performing the halftime show. Expect a painful amount of Rihanna puns on this show the next few weeks, my friends. I am on cloud 9 and don't feel like coming down anytime soon. That's all I've got for you this week. As always, go Royals, go Chiefs, and roo up.
Welcome back to Lifestyle and Culture. I'm your host, Joshua Cunningham, and today I have another album review. I know, guys, I'm not going to just become the album review guy, but this album literally changed my life when I listened to it, so I have to put it on here. My older sister really put me on. She told me JT had a bunch of hits, Justin Timberlake, but I didn't know he had hits like this, So today my album review will be over the 2020 Experience, the deluxe version. It has 12 songs, and it's an hour and 19 minutes long. And you would think that an album where the average length of a song is almost 7 minutes long, that, you know, it would just be a terrible album, but genuinely, there is no skips on this album. And that's because every single song is an experience. Yes, pun intended. I mean, literally, when it's 7 minutes long, he changes the song up so many different times, and it's just so good. But I'll tell you some of my best songs. I mean, every single song on this album was a hit, so I would love to put every single one on there, but I'll keep it to like around 5. And this is not counting Mirror, but if you haven't heard the 8-minute version of Mirror, you need to, because it's literally amazing. It's the only good version to listen to. So first, I'll start off with Pusher Love Girl. I've been listening to this song for like a few years now, but every single time I hear it, it hits, and it's just so good. Strawberry Bubblegum is one of those songs I was talking about. It's a whole experience. It's like 7 minutes long, but it's like 2 different songs so in one, and it's just so good. Tunnel Vision is great. I've been listening to that song like multiple times a day for like the last 2 weeks. It's been so good. I mean, I don't know what it is about it, but something about it, I just like, you know, I just feel like I got to dance to it. That Girl by Justin Timberlake, another banger. Guys, I'm telling you, if you can sing, play a little guitar or something, sing that to your girlfriend, or if you want a girlfriend and you don't have one, sing that to that pretty girl you see in class, you know, it might help something. And then Blue Ocean Floor is the last one. This one, I'll just like be in my room, have my LED lights on, close my eyes and listen to it, and I just feel, you know, like I'm taken to a different world. It's such a great song. But if I had to rate the 2020 Experience Deluxe version, I would give it a 9.5. I mean, it was that good. It's almost a perfect album. It's probably a top 5 album I've ever heard. But if you don't like, you know, super long songs, I would guess that you guys would probably rate it between a 7 or 9. But that being said, if you haven't listened to this album, you need to. It's great. I will tell everyone to listen to this album because it truly did change my life. But that's all I have time for today. Follow me on Instagram at mr.cunning123 and come back next week on RooTV to hear me talk about my favorite Rihanna songs.
Welcome back to Book Review. A 1-month holiday was just what I needed to get back into good reading habits. My name is Afnan Hussain, and here are a few of the books that I read over holiday break. Starting with The Sun Also Rises, a 1926 novel written by American author Ernest Hemingway about a group of American and British expatriates who travel from Paris to Pamplona to watch the running of the bulls. An early and enduring modernist novel, Hemingway is a master of description. His prose is deceptively simple. His declarations actually do a great deal to put you there, into the scene. It's all very vivid and beautifully written. But really, it didn't go anywhere. It seemed like a filler story. The lack of plot made the first half of the book a little unenjoyable for me. I just wanted more out of the book. Hemingway's other works have burrowed deep into my consciousness so that I find myself referring back to them time and time again. The Sun Also Rises just did not achieve this. Regardless of the magnificent language, I would give this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Next, we have Anna Karenina. Anna married Alexei Karenin, a man 20 years older than her. She produced a son for him and settled into a life of social events and extravagant clothes and enjoyed freedom from financial worries. But maybe this life would have continued for her if she had never met Count Vronsky. But more than likely, her midlife crisis and her awareness of the passage of time would have compelled her to seek something a little bit more. It's about the way that the human mind, or as Tolstoy sometimes says, the human soul, engages each of these experiences and tries to understand itself, the world around it, and other souls that inhabit the world. This book is not afraid to take up any part of human life because it believes that human beings are infinitely interesting and infinitely worth of compassion. Between the nature of the content and the quality of the words, I do not have enough high praise for this book. I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Lastly, we have A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is the first book in a 5-book series produced by Sarah J. Maas. Maas has built a complex magical world of deadly fae and power-hungry humans, with Fair and Tamlin caught in the middle. Emotions are wrought, drama and danger are right up there, and Maas isn't afraid to let a little romance fly despite all the conflict. It's a perfect, fun, thrilling, and it's a story retelling of Beauty and the Beast, so it's just a little bit different. I would give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. And now it's time for an excerpt. Magic. That's what the tang had been, what was keeping my limbs tucked in tight, preventing me from going for my knife. I recognized the power deep in my bones from some collective mortal memory and terror. How long had it kept me unconscious? How long had he kept me unconscious rather than having to speak to me? If you enjoyed this book review, check out my Instagram at afhussain_ for more. Thanks for watching.
The December flooding damaged rooms and hallways in both dormitories, as well as multiple study rooms in Johnson Hall, and even a storeroom in Oak Street. In the past 8 years, the dorms have experienced flooding 5 other times. UMKC Director of Strategic Communications, Stacy Downs, assured that preventative measures were taken, including monitoring temperatures and water flow and previously installed upgrades. It's thought that these measures reduce the amount of water damage, although drywall and flooring are being replaced in both halls.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of RooTV. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RooNewsUMKC.
See you next week.